Hi everyone, today we're going to look at winding our shuttle and making our first double stitch. So I have my two different colours of thread. I'm using a 4-ply crochet cotton, so it's nice and thick and hopefully easier for you to see what I'm doing. So for us to make our double stitches, we need to get our thread onto our shuttle, which means we need to get our thread down through that hole. And while this shuttle has a nice big hole, some of them don't, some of them are quite small. So if you're able, you can just poke that through to the other side. If that's not working so well, grab your crochet hook, pop it through, loop your yarn over the hook and pull it through. Once you've got your thread through, there's a couple of ways we can secure it. We can hold it over the top with our thumb and start to wind, and as we wind, that tail is going to get buried under the rest of our thread. You can just tie it on if you prefer, or we can do a slip knot. So pop it through, have a bit of a tail, bring it up around the top so that you have running parallel. Bring your tail down under your shuttle and come up over the top and through this loop. And then we pull that and just cut your excess tail off. Then we're ready to wind our shuttle. But before we go ahead and start winding, we need to think about which way we're going to hold our shuttle. Now it doesn't really matter, you can hold it whichever way you like. But what does matter is where our tail thread comes out. So if we're going to use our shuttle like this and we're right-handed, we need our thread coming out the back right-hand side of our shuttle. If we were left-handed and we were going to use our shuttle the same way, then the tail needs to come out the back left-hand side. And that gives us control and helps us maneuver our thread and work with our tension. So I'm right-handed, so I need my tail coming out the back right-hand side. To wind our shuttle on, we can do what's called the walking method and walk it on. This is the one I prefer to do because it doesn't put any pressure on my blades and it doesn't add twist to my thread as I'm winding. The other way that we can wind our shuttle is called the windmill wind. Which goes around and around. And while that gets the thread onto our post, it puts pressure on our blades and it adds twist to our thread. So I personally don't like that method. Walking it on seems like it's going to take forever, but it really doesn't. Once you get going, it's pretty quick and you can fill a shuttle in no time. Okay, time to make some stitches. So we're going to start with a chain today because that's the easiest way for us to learn how to flip our stitch. So grab your two different coloured threads and tie them together. Leave a little bit of a tail so you've got something to hang on to. Now we need our ball thread on top. This is our working thread and it's going to be making our stitches, and for me that's the yellow thread. And our core thread, green thread going to my shuttle, is on the bottom. Our stitches are going to end up on here. The way we wrap our hand, hold the knot in what we call a pinch, so between your first finger and your thumb. Bring your working thread over your fingers and wrap your little finger and lock that little finger down. That is the hand setup for a chain. So again, in the pinch, over your fingers, wrap your little finger and lock it down. Notice how I've got my fingers slightly splayed, and I'm locking my little finger, which is controlling the flow of my thread. So when my little finger is locked down, I can't get any more thread through. If I release my little finger and pull, the thread is allowed to run. So we can think of our hand set up a bit like a sewing machine. If you think of your little finger as the bobbin and your middle finger as the take-up lever, little fingers controlling the flow of the thread. We're going to be making our stitches along here, so we need really good tension on this thread. When we relax our middle finger, like the take-up lever on a sewing machine, it releases the tension. When we pull it back up, we've got tension again. Also notice the distance I've got between my middle finger and the pinch. I need to be able to get a shuttle through here. So you need a pretty good distance here. So the double stitch has a first half and a second half component. The first half, we wrap our hand and we're going under the yellow, back out over the yellow, and that's going to put a loop of green on yellow, but we need that the other way around. So we're going to drop our middle finger and change our tension by pulling on our right hand, and watch what happens here. Your thread will flip over. Now we need our tension back, so pull your middle finger up and snug that stitch into place. Second half of our double stitch, we don't wrap our hand. We're going straight over our yellow, back out under our yellow, and again we've got green loop on the yellow and we want it the other way around. So change your tension, drop the middle finger of your left hand, pull with your right, and it will flip. Pull your middle finger up and snug it into place. That's given us first half and the second half of our double stitch. So for our second stitch, first half, wrap your hand, go under the yellow, back out over the yellow, and change your tension. So drop your left hand and pull with your right and snug your stitch up. Second half, over the yellow, back out under the yellow, drop your left hand, pull with your right and snug your stitch up. Now we've got 2 completed double stitches on our core thread. Wrap your hand under the yellow, back out over the yellow, change your tension, drop your left hand, pull with your right, and pull your middle finger up to snug your stitch. Second half, don't wrap your hand over, back out under, change your tension and snug it up. Wrap your hand for the first half again, under, back out over, flip and pull up. Don't wrap, and go over, back out under, flip and pull up. Wrap your hand. As you're going under, you'll notice I'm not really releasing my shuttle, but I'm just loosening my grip enough for that thread to slide between my finger and the shuttle. So work about 10 to 15 stitches for your chain, practicing your tension and your flip. When you've done a few, grab up between your finger and thumb and gently pull your core thread, and that will snug your stitches up. You should get a nice soft arc. Now if your stitches don't slide, then you've got an unflipped stitch somewhere. They should slide very easily along your core thread.